Tell me briefly again the pain points before you had the new ERP, the old system.
The database issues with trying to fix something if something glitched or something went wrong, or an entry was just, an invoice was input wrong. You would have to completely do the opposite, reverse it out. It wasn't just like a one-click deal. Oh, that's an issue. I need to void that. Like in the new one, Acumatica, you can just void it, delete it, however, and it automatically does the reversing entries behind the scenes, so you're not having to do the other stuff on the other one. That, how outdated it was to get them to remote in to fix something that was going on behind the scenes. Because if you got an error message, there was nothing you could do until they went in and cleared whatever glitch happened in the database. And that could take anywhere from 4 hours to a day. You just didn't know when it was going to be.
So when you guys decided, okay, we're gonna do an ERP, how long did that decision of, okay, now we're actually gonna do it? How did you start to research and figure out?
It took a while. The biggest thing about the old software that was good is everything was all in together. And so the reports were there, but they were not exactly the best reports and most up to date. But changing in a construction company, the project management side compared to the accounting side is a huge difference. And so the project managers and estimators, stuff like that, they didn't want to change their routines and their processes. So that made it difficult. So we were trying to find something that we could incorporate as much as possible and to update the accounting side. And so that took a little while. And then I was at our AO Mobile conference, and that's when I met Rob through Austin Lane. And they, helped us, and he came in and talked, and that's when we pushed forward with the cost benefit of it, because the price point, of course, was the biggest difference because we're not a huge company. And so we didn't want to be spending $200,000 on a new software that's only used by accounting. And that's primarily what all of the major players are. It's a big process on doing things like that. And so we talked it over, and then that's where Rob at the time was to increase. It came in, and we moved forward with it pretty quickly after that initial meeting. Our operations manager / I call him the owner, he was on board pretty quick with it. So, because we were wanting something to change.
Was there, I know you said it happened pretty quick, was there something that was a feeling or like a point of understanding that Dominic gave you that really made that decision clear, like we're gonna do this?
It was just the presentation that Rob gave, and the answering of questions that we did have. And again, most of the smaller business, it is price point. And the implementation cost was considerably less as to what it would have been, for a full-on one of the other big, Sage or whatever ERP systems.
Did you guys look at any others?
We looked at a couple. One of them was Plexus. That's the one we talked about whenever I just started, and we sat down and had a meeting with them. We had a couple of other of our competitors here in the DFW area that use it. We actually never even got to the point of going over to their offices because they offered for us to come look at it and see, and we just never even got to that point just because of some of the stuff didn't have a right fit for what we thought and what would work with what we already had in place. And so some of the older, like I said, some of the older stuff the PMs use, now they're kind of being forced because everything is becoming more cloud-based, and some of those softwares are going away. And so it worked out on switching now, and then also some of the younger guys that are coming in will start off on a newer software and won't have to transition to something.
Sure.
From no two setups basically.